Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on HITID. I was going to do this one yesterday and didn't get it done. I've covered this stock here a couple times. Looks like the last time I talked about it was on May 1st. This has been one of my favorite penny stocks, although it did a reverse merger, 15 to 1. So now they're getting ready to go on the NASDAQ. So bigger and better things for this one, and maybe eventually you could see this as a $10 stock. It used to be 50 cents. Like I said, they did the reverse merger, so if you're looking at your account wondering why you have less shares, your account value is still the same. It's just you have less shares, so which will in turn probably help your account because it'll be on the major exchanges. Other people will be looking at this one, gives it more credibility and so on. So, but this has been one of my favorite. Well, I can't call it a penny stock anymore, but HITID, ticker was HITIF. Now the ticker is HITID, and as you can see, it trades over the counter, the QB, and working its way up to the NASDAQ. So right now it's trading at $8.19. It's setting at a buy with a market cap of 430 million, and this is the 46 million shares outstanding. And I was buying into this one at 50 cents. They just keep growing each time I talk about it. I believe they have about 85 stores. They might have more than that now because it's been about 2 weeks since I've talked about them. Last time I talked about them, I believe they had about 85 stores, and they're on their way to 115 by the end of the year. So, and the rate they're going, I'm sure they will be doing it. So, HITID expands U.S. reach, which is another thing that they've been trying to do with 80% stake in FABCBD. This is just dated on the 4th. So they've been watching the United States really closely for legalization to tap into the United States market, which is fine with me. So anything to help out the stock. The retail focused, so some of this might still have the old ticker, but it's still relevant information. Retail focused MJ company HITID, ticker HITIF, which is what it used to be, and now it's HITID. Said Monday that it will acquire 80% of Fab Nutrition LLC for $20.64 million in stock and cash. The online retailer of hemp-derived CBD products, headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, launched in 2017. HITID is considered the most profitable Canadian retailer of adult use MJ and adjusted EBITDA basis. Key investors in HITID, which I've went over before, is Freya and Aurora. Freya is probably my favorite single play right now, and it used to be Aurora, but they did a reverse merger, and I'm still in the red on them, so I'm still kind of watching for them to come back up, but I have several other MJ plays, so even some MJ ETFs that I've went over here on the channel. So HITID signed an agreement to obtain 80% interest, like I said, for $20.64 million, consisting of 8.08 million in shares and of HITID and 12.56 million in cash. The transaction acquires authorization from TSX Venture Exchange, among other things. Under the agreement, HITID is provided with a 3-year option to buy the remaining 20% of FABCBD at any time. And the rate they're going, I'm sure they will probably buy it. So why this matters, with the purchase of HITID's pro forma annual U.S. revenue is projected to surpass 40 million or 32.5 million U.S. The company said its consolidated financial results will benefit from FABCBD which had 2020 gross margins of 74% and EBITDA margins of 40%. FABCBD saw 160,000 in sales in April 20, which bring HITID's pro forma sales this year's 4/20 holiday close to $1 million. And feel free to pause and go over the rest of the information there for yourself, as I have some more information to go over. And again, this is once they get on the NASDAQ, this will probably be one of my favorite. Might take the place of FRIA. So, HITID closes acquisition of leading CBD e-commerce retailer FABCBD, and this is just dated here on the 10th. So, kind of some of the same information that we already went over. This just kind of goes over the closing of the acquisition. So, feel free to pause, and I'll just slowly scroll through. But again, the acquisition was completed pursuant to the terms of the definitive agreement. Acquisition agreement. We kind of already went over some of that information. Buying 80% was some HITID shares and cash, and the option to buy the other 20%, which I wouldn't doubt it that they do. They might just be sitting on it, seeing how it does, and but this kind of goes over a little bit more about FABCBD. Fab Nutrition is one of the leading online retailers of hemp-derived CBD products. The company provides a marketplace with a wide variety of high-quality products and formulas, affording pricing, rapid, dependable shipping, and surprisingly personable customer service. The company's website is fabcbd.com. This kind of goes over a little bit more about HITID, as I said, with 85 current locations. This is some of their locations: Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and they feature the Cabana, Coach Bar, Meta, MJ Company, and so on. And these are some of my favorite platforms: the Grass City, the Smoke Cartel, and CBDcity.com. Those are, I don't know, just three catchy names, so very interesting. I like this company. And again, we already touched, they have investors of Afria and Aurora. HITID commences trading on consolidated basis. This is just dated on the 13th, so yesterday. So now it's the OTCQB HITID, a retail-focused MJ Corporation enhanced by the manufacturing and distribution of consumption accessories. Pleased to announce the further press release dated May 12th. All of its issued and outstanding common shares began trading on a post-consolidation basis on May 13th, which is yesterday. So like I said, I wanted to get this out yesterday, but just didn't get it done. I was working on some other videos and kind of forgot about this one, and work got in the way, and then it got to be too late, so better late than never. So, but this kind of goes over about some of the shares, the common shares, the meta warrants, so feel free to pause and go over that. You can find this on prnewswire.com. And this goes over a little bit more about HITID, basically the same information we already went over. And I'll post all my other videos in the description so you can watch those and kind of get a more in-depth about HITID. So this is published on the 11th. Number one Canadian pot retailer trades at 50 cents per share. So again, this was prior to the reverse merger. Has got to be one of the most overlooked stocks in the market today. HITID trades at Canadian 60 cents per share in its home country, Canada. TSX Venture Exchange in the United States, HITI stock trades over the counter. The last time I checked on the US stock, it was at 50 cents. And so this kind of goes over some more information. Started out in 2009 with one small smoke shop with just 2 employees, and now they're up to 85 stores. Canadian retail industry with more than 700 employees, and so they just keep growing, and soon once they get into the United States, you're probably just going to see these being popping up all over the place. So that's why I'm investing into it, because they're just growing, and lots of good catalysts coming out about this one. So this kind of goes over an analyst take. This is a chart there, stock chart. Kind of shows the progression of the stock, and it just kind of keeps going up. You can see the volume pumping in there. And HITID announces details of a consolidation to meet NASDAQ listing requirements. This is just dated on the 12th as well. So a 15-to-1 share consolidation began trading on or about May 14th. Well, it was today, so it has changed. Again, HITIF, retail-focused manufacturing, distribution, consumption accessories, is pleased to announce that it's consolidating all of its issued outstanding common shares on the basis of 1 post-consolidation common share for each 15. So if you had 15 shares, now you have 1, but it's still worth the same dollar amount. Well, your account's still worth the same dollar amount. The shares are just worth more because it's 15-to-1, so instead of 50 cents, it's now 8 something. So you just have less shares, but the account value is still the same, so no need to worry. These are gonna go back up, and this could be a $10 stock easy by the end of the year. So again, I'm just gonna keep scrolling through here for those of you that would like to pause and go over the rest of the information here for yourself. We've kind of already went over a lot of this information. Over here to Reddit, see if there's any recent information. 2 months ago, 1 month ago, so not much relevant. And this is currently showing it at 750. I'll refresh here and see what it says. So this is showing a 52-week low of $1.47, high of $13.29. When can U.S. citizens buy warrants? I see a ticker on Fidelity, but no one is selling or buying. And that's some information that I gotta find out here. I did not come across that. So stock showing up as on my TD Ameritrade account, can't even buy more. So not quite for sure on that. I haven't tried to buy any of it yet today, so we need to squeeze. So not to sell and limit order at 20. Just bought 7,000 shares. At least the warrants are starting to catch up. So not really any other information in there other than talking about and this hasn't been updated either, so probably have to do another update on this next week and find some more information on it, but currently it's showing 825 with a buy, and it's kind of always been a buy in my mind, but again, I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice. So if you have HITID, go ahead and leave it in the comments along with your cost basis and any other information you have on this one. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing. That would really help out the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, Falling Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.